All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Chally and the Boys. I am your host, Steven Chalicombe, and joined with me tonight, as always, are the co-hosts, Will and Stasher. I was just copying, I guess, dance moves there from William, and
Whoa.
Stash is milking fucking cows over there. Jesus, this is getting rowdy.
You know how we
And
do it
what,
here.
what we got for you tonight is just a little, I guess, preseason recap, review, kind of where we see the team going just based off of pretty much the last week in general. So with that being said, let's just get right into it. Um, and Stash, take us away on how you're feeling right now. Tell us how it is.
I mean, it's the first preseason game. You didn't see much of anything that was really significance from the players, that is. From like significant players. Like no Dak, no Zeke, no CD or anything like that. None of those type of guys.
True.
The thing that I saw that has me questioning what's going on with this team is the penalties, and that stems right from like when I see that, I go right to the head coach, Mike McCarthy, because as we all know, he's not calling offensive plays. Dan Quinn's not letting him touch the defense, and
No.
he's not calling anything on special teams because all we know from 2 years ago, John Fossil has the ability to call a fake punt from his own 30-yard line whenever he wants. So,
It's true.
what is he doing? Like he said at the end of last season that we're gonna like the goal is to become like not get bullied around and have less penalties. And the first preseason game of the year Dallas has is right where they left off against San Francisco with the penalties. And that's got to come down from the top. Like what's he preaching? What's he telling the coaches to do? And what's getting relayed to these players? I mean, granted, most of them aren't starters, but they're still backup players that could make this team. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, right. There's still guys you are, maybe not
You're
hopefully make the
evaluating
roster,
to,
but yeah,
yeah.
you'd like to see if they can make the roster. And I mean, I 100% agree. However, I can't help but always ask, and this is more asking out loud than you guys, but at what point do we hold the players accountable? Maybe not we hold them accountable, but at what point are we like, man, the players just got to stop making fucking penalties? I mean, it's not like Mike McCarthy can, go out there and not take the penalties for them.
No, but he can hold them accountable. Like the team can
Well,
hold them
you
accountable.
can't cut everyone though.
I'm not saying cut. You take away their money. Why can't
Fine
you
them or
fine them for
whatever.
penalties
Sure.
and shit like that?
Uh,
Yeah, I don't, I,
is that legal?
The team fine.
I'm sure it's possible, but yeah, I don't know how effective something like that would be.
Can't bench people or whatever. Like people have like players have things in their contracts where if they have a certain amount of incentives or whatever.
Study time.
Micah Parsons roughs the passer on the first play of the year. You benching him?
No,
Okay.
but
I'm just asking. I mean, I 100% agree with you too. I think that there's a problem with the penalties, but do you take in consideration, like you said, most of the people playing are never going to see an NFL football field, right? And then the other half that are playing are mostly depth guys, right? So do you take into it's not like they're starters. All of them are starters out there, and if this is week one of the regular season, I'm on board with you 100%.
yeah. Well, here's another thing too is it was because they didn't just play the Broncos, they practiced against them a couple times last week.
Yeah.
And there was a time last week in one of their practices where like they're doing plays, but there's no hits allowed. Like there's no tackling or anything like that. And they get a run play, and apparently, and it was said beforehand, like to the Cowboys players, Mike McCarthy said like anybody starts any fights, they're getting thrown out of practice or whatever.
Right. Right.
But there's a run play. Zeke Elliott has the ball, so you're however many $1 million running back. He does a cuts back, and he gets from all the reports, whatever, he gets blown up.
Yeah.
Like this is a no tackle period. He gets blown up.
It was a decent hit. Yeah.
And what?
I was just agreeing. It was a decent hit. I actually saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? I did not catch that part. Was it? It wasn't a no hit part.
No hit period. Yeah, there was
Oh,
no
okay.
hit, and he got blown up.
Yeah. I saw it, but I never heard that. Okay.
Cowboys players did nothing. Nobody did anything. Like, and that goes back to some of the players they left. Like, and somebody was talking about it. Was like saying if that happens on the defensive side of the ball, you got Micah Parsons, you got Jaron Curse, who gonna step up and if not like fight the dude, get in his face and just be like, "Yo, this
Right.
this not happening."
Regulate. Yeah.
Yeah, who's doing that on the offensive side of the ball?
Well,
There's one person that somebody said could have done it or like would do it now possibly.
Lyle
And they said,
Collins. Oh,
well, Lyle Collins would have done it. We know
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah. Collins was the last person.
But they're saying like the regulator would be Dak Prescott, and
That's real frightening.
that is real frightening. Like who's going to do that? And granted, I guess Tyler Smith was not on the field at this time. But like, what's that say? If it's like either your $40 million quarterback or your rookie offensive lineman, you got nobody else.
Yeah. See, I mean, so okay, so let me just. Are you painting the scenario that okay? Let's just say this is a regular season game, right? And Dak goes on the sideline and somebody just murders him outside of the field, and let's just on the sideline, and then you're saying that nobody on the defense is allowed to do anything, right? So let's see what offensive player would have stood up.
Yeah.
Like say that they would have been on the field. Yeah, I mean, I would get. I mean, Tyler Smith he's supposed to be the nasty dude, right? I mean, in that scenario, I would assume Zeke would just. I don't think Zeke would take it. You know what I mean? But if Zeke is the one getting hit, like you said in this scenario, then yeah, I mean, because they don't really have any other nasty players, right? I mean, Zach Martin's not a nasty player at all.
No, he's not. Zach Martin's not a nasty dude. Like Tyron Smith's
Not a nasty dude. Yeah.
not a nasty dude. I mean, I guess there was video of Terrence Steele seeing it happen, just put his head down, turn around, and walk back to the huddle.
Contact sport.
Yeah, I did hear though that they did say, that it was reported too that while there was no fighting, I guess, or McCarthy had said he didn't want any fighting for what I don't even really understand that.
Broncos were trying to start fights, but I'm just saying the Broncos were clearly sending a message. It's just saying we bullied you last year during the season. We're bullying you right now, and you're not doing shit about it. And
why doesn't McCarthy want them to fight back? I don't really understand. I didn't understand that.
I don't know.
I wonder if he gets that from
maybe
top
maybe
down.
He's just trying to. Oh, that's possible too. Maybe he's just trying to get them to show a level of discipline, like sort of also towards the flags, because this was obviously prior towards them having 21 penalties, 17 accepted. Maybe he was just trying to show a level of discipline.
But you can't I understand that point of view, but you can't go as far as removing like the nuts from your players so that they can't do anything when something happens.
Oh yeah, I'm not advocating for it. I'm just
no, but I'm saying, but it sounds like that's what he did though.
Maybe.
Yeah, you might be onto something. Yeah.
And if that's the way he's trying to coach this team's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I already took the under.
Yeah, I know you took.
I'm just saying. Anytime you guys want to move over to the dark side, come on over.
Do you just? Nobody's thinking that the Cowboys' offense is a nasty offense, though, right? Like a.
I mean, if they want to, they say they want to run the ball. If you want to run the ball, you got to be nasty.
Yeah, I worry that there's multiple ways of wanting to run the ball, right? And then one is nasty, and other ones like a zone, read. I mean, Zeke is physical, right? But I just don't think that they have the personnel to match up nasty, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think they still don't. I mean, Tyler Smith alone does not change that, unfortunately.
Right? Yeah.
You got. I mean, trust me. Like when it comes to football, like the two Smiths can be nasty. We know Tyron can be nasty. Tyler Smith is, from all reports, a nasty dude.
Yeah.
And Zach Martin, he might not be like quote unquote nasty, but he'll get down. But the other two are problems.
Yeah.
Just get Ridgeway on the offensive line.
It's kind of weird, though, how you're right, how the team's built where the defense is, you could rattle off like 15 dudes and you're like, that guy's going to kill somebody tonight. You know what I mean? But on the offense, it's like, you hope you see him in the alleyway. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, your nasty dude, they didn't like him. They cut him.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously for different reasons.
Yeah, that different reasons. But, like,
I don't know. I wonder if you have to be nasty in the NFL anymore. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think this year and all is just going to be ugly. I think they're just kind of set up. I don't want to say set up for failure, but I don't think they've set themselves up for success.
I mean, this year is going to. I mean, it's going to be like last year in a way. Is the defense is going to carry this team?
Yeah, so I agree, but that's exactly why it's not like last year, right? Like going into last year, nobody was going to be like, man, no one in the world was like, man, Dallas' defense is legit.
No, I'm just saying the way it ended up being was the defense carried that team.
Yeah, and I agree with that specific thing. That's going to happen again this year. I don't think the offense is going to be as near prolific as it was last year. It would be hard to repeat that anyway, regardless, but yeah.
That's the thing about the defense too. Can they create all those turnovers? Because like the statistics say they're going to have like 10 less turnovers on the year.
Right. My guess is, well, yeah, you're right. Like no team has ever like gone like multiple years in a row getting that many turnovers. But my guess is they are going to play better defense.
Yeah.
You know, yards per play, red zone scoring, that kind of stuff. But yeah, you're right. There's no way they're getting that many interceptions and turnovers again. It's not how it happens. I mean, although things are made to be broken, right? So
true.
You know.
You know, I mean, I think the defense as a whole received more additions than the offense did for sure. I mean, the offense you lost Amari Cooper and La'el Collins. Sure, on the defense you lost Randy Gregory, but I think all of your corners across the board improved. You re-signed your safeties. You hopefully have a rotation at left end that you're happy with, with Sam Williams and whatnot, or right ends, whatever. I always get those mixed up. So, yeah, the defense, I think, in names and on paper, improved. So, I think it's easy to say that they're going to carry the Cowboys to, 10 wins or less.
That still may win the division, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, that's kind of the discussing part. Okay, Sash, did you have anything more specific to McCarthy at all? Or, I mean, I think you kind of hit on all the points you wanted to. But
I just like I said, I just mean we know he's not calling plays. Like he's got to provide something to this team other than what he's doing, because what he's doing is like not working right. I mean, I'm not saying it's not working because they obviously they won the division last year and things like that, but there needs to be some improvement there.
Yeah, and I actually think so. Will's probably going to disagree with this, but I think this weekend, or this preseason game more specifically, went as bad as it possibly could have in regards to Mike McCarthy. Like, this could not have gone worse in the sense that the conversations have started weeks and months ago are going to continue as who's McCarthy's replacement. Until I would like to see him take some sort of accountability. I don't know how that's defined in accountability, but for the penalties, right? Like, hey, like this is on me. I'm obviously not getting my points across to the team in regards to not taking penalties, whatever that is, right? But like there is zero accountability, in my opinion, from McCarthy on how to trim down the fat on these penalties. Again, I don't have that answer, but we still haven't heard it from even his mouth.
I don't want to
go. Not being relayed to the public, so if there is, so.
Don't want to go too off board now, but this would be a nice little conversation maybe for the future. What's the over under, like was it week 8, week 9 of McCarthy's no longer here and Dan Quinn's the head coach?
It's not going to
What's their
happen.
record?
It's not going to happen.
No. I mean, so that's been talked about before, right? Like we even had a similar conversation, and I mean we and like just the Cowboys fandom in general with
Yeah.
Jason Garrett, right? Like we all thought Jason Garrett was going to be fired in the middle of the year, anytime between like fucking 2015 to whenever he finally got fired, and it just never happened. I don't think Jerry Jones has never fired a coach in the middle of the season, right? Like I just don't see that changing this season.
Wade
Um,
Phillips to Jason
yeah,
Garrett.
that was 2006, 7, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, long time. Well, you
Okay,
said
so all
never,
right,
so I
so it has
just.
happened once, right? But it,
Yeah.
um, uh, I mean, I hope it doesn't happen, right? Like I still want the Cowboys to have a good season. I, you know,
Yeah, but I mean, they could still have a good. They could still win the division. And like week 9, they're like 5-4, but they just look like shit. You know what I mean? And they're like, all right, let's just switch it over because you're right. Like McCarthy isn't doing nothing. Quinn's the head coach, and we'll just make a couple of changes for a spark or something. Is that not something that you don't see that? There's no chance of that at all.
I don't. Hmm. Uh, I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible. I would just say it's not likely, right? Like I would assume so. If we're just saying week 9 for shits and giggles, I would say the Cowboys would have to be 2-7, 3-6, and no major injuries, right? Like Dak's healthy, Micah's healthy, all the big names are healthy, and they're just not clicking. Then maybe, but I think even then, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just the typical like Cowboys hater. Like there's never going to be change until it's too late.
Until they sell the team, you mean?
Sure. I mean, I've said it. I haven't said it on this podcast, but I don't think Dallas is going to win a Super Bowl until Jerry either gives up GM or dies.
Yeah.
There it is. That's a bit
If
extreme, but
if he
it's
gives up GM, it's gonna be Steven.
well,
Yeah.
well, I would apply the same to Steven too, right? Like those two just need to go.
Well, I assume that the Jones, like we're gonna be gone
Yeah.
before the Joneses are out of there because Jerry Jr. is ready to come up. You know what I mean? And who knows, whatever. With how much they're worth, I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon.
Hmm. Yeah. No,
I
you're probably
agree.
right. But yeah, I've always said with at least with Jerry, I thought we were going to see change with Steven when he drafted, I think it was Travis Frederick pretty much over Manziel. Or was it Zach Martin over Manziel? I forget. One of the linemen.
Zach Martin, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought that was going to be the kind of the big change we saw in the front office, and then it kind of just, I don't know, didn't really change besides that draft pick, I guess. But all right, I guess that's enough of that. Will, so would you have, you wanted to talk about the Smiths or offensive line in general?
Yeah. So I was just, is anybody surprised that Tyron Smith got hurt in practice? Right, just walking around, kind of deal.
Not surprised.
I wonder. I don't know. I just don't know. Why do they just lie? Just say he's not playing in the preseason. He's not going to practice. We're going to do whatever we can to just. He's playing week 1, and we're going to try to get as many snaps out of him as possible. And okay, he's probably going to miss 3-4 games in the year. You know what I mean? Like, why don't they just say it? Because we'd have to look, but it's got to be at least 5 years now where he's missed, solid amount of the year, and am I in my mind?
No.
I don't think so. I'm just trying to think of how if I was Tyron Smith hearing that. I mean, he's got to know, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he's
hey, I'm
already
probably
paid. Who
gonna
the hell
miss a
does he
couple
care?
games, but like, I just wonder if that's taking shots at him. Maybe I don't
I
know.
mean, that's where the head coach has got to come in and just have a conversation with him, and be
Sure.
like, hey, like, let's get real here. I mean, you're going to be missing some time. You can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
And we need to keep you healthy as long as possible. We need you out on the field playing games.
No.
So you're not doing shit.
And I guess, my guess is it's not a big deal to, like, it just always seems like it's like, you get news, like Dallas Cowboys, Tyron Smith doesn't, like, it's not news. We know this has happened. You know what I mean? But it's like something it's just like part of like the Dallas Cowboys, like, surrounding them, that it's, okay, another injury for one of their best players, right? It's like, can we just move on from that? And then on top of that too, like, what do you guys think of the other T. Smith?
In the
How did
preseason
he play? Yeah, in the
specifically,
preseason game.
or
Yeah. Or we were kind of talking about having a show about the whole Philbin thing, where he kind of didn't like, or him and some of the scout, or
didn't like
him
the
and
pick.
some whatever didn't like him. First of all, like, that's, I know it's news because if that was for any other team, it's
Wouldn't
not
matter.
news at
Yeah.
all. It doesn't matter at all. I think that happens on literally every team anyway. I mean, it happens every year for the Cowboys. They never, the rookie almost never comes in. I mean, not almost, and is the starter on day one. But like, are you telling me that if Joe Philbin goes in and tells Jerry, "Hey, look, man, I'm thinking that Tyler Smith's not nearly as good as Connor McGovern or whoever they want, whatever they're," that he can tell McCarthy or Jerry or whoever, Steven, that this is how we're going to do it? I think that he laughs in Joe Philbin's face, and that's how he gets fired.
Yeah, I mean, that's this whole narrative, I guess, for Dallas of the rookies got to earn their spot, I think is a joke.
What do you mean? You don't think they should have to earn their spot?
I'm just saying, like, that chart comes out and Connor McGovern's over Tyler Smith because that's just how Dallas does things. I mean, we're not fucking stupid. It's like the Lion. I don't think like the Lions aren't saying what Aiden Hutchinson. Oh, you're not our best defensive end. You got to earn your spot.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah, yeah.
saying no. You're no. It's
I
like let's.
I get what you're
If
saying, but I think those are two vastly different players, right? Like, so Tyler
no,
Smith was
I'm just
drafted
saying
with
if if
flaws.
if Tyler Smith's the best player, put him as number one and say, guess what, Connor McGovern, our rookie that we just brought in is better than you. If you got a problem with it, do something about it.
Or they don't actually feel like that. I mean, I agree with you. I assume that Tyler Smith's going to be the week one starter, but maybe they
He
don't
no,
think
he
that.
100%
I
is.
mean,
Yeah,
No,
he
there's
better
literally
be.
no way.
He almost better be, right? But like, what if they don't think that right now?
but I think if the reports coming out of practice, granted, I'm not there, we're not there, is Tyler Smith's the better player, and it's not close.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
think it's
Joe
just Joe
Philbin.
Philbin.
Joe Philbin just has a problem, or Mike McCarthy, or it's a Dallas problem. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think the report was just that he just did not, I guess, care for the pick, right? Like, I assume he had a preference to Linderbaum, for example. I don't know. I'm just throwing a name out.
Right.
It sounds like he just had a preference to another lineman, which I guess isn't the end of the world, but I mean,
There wasn't that many there.
The problem is that it's just because it's the Cowboys. That's why it's talked about. If we were Minnesota Vikings fans and this happened, that's the negative of being a Cowboy fan, is that every time there's even the littlest thing that's really not nothing gets blown out of proportion. Like, this is shit's on First Take. You know what I mean? Or Fox, whatever, Fox or ESPN, or
yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? It's
Was
just
it? I didn't.
no. I don't know. I assume it is. I don't watch it either. But you know how, like, they just take it's whatever happens in Cowboys leads their show every hour. You know what I mean? Like, what else is there to talk about? It's just Cowboy, whatever.
It's America's team.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm saying that is the downfall of being a Cowboy fan, right there. So you got to hear of, like, this dumb. Mike McCarthy dropped his pen. Walking across the field. That's leading. That's a leading story right there. You know what I mean? I just made that up.
So would
Yeah.
I guess, to try and bring this back to
Football.
Tyler and or Tyron Smith, what do you expect them to do the front office to do anything about the left tackle position? Because it sounds like Tyron's going to be
Oh,
missing
no.
some amount of
Yeah,
time during the preseason.
he's starting week one. Yeah, they're both T Smiths are starting week one. I don't. It's not a thing at all to me. It's like, the thing is that it's still a thing that he's missing practice. It's like, no, it's yes, we all know. You know what I mean?
That's his thing. It's going to happen every week of the year.
Are you still excited about the swing tackle position though?
Fuck no.
Right, I guess maybe that's what I should have asked the first time,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah. I
supposedly
mean,
Josh Ball got fucked on all day against the
yeah,
Broncos. Again,
yeah.
it's just preseason. It's not, we gotta add those grains of salt there. But um, if Tyron Smith is missing a game, your boy Josh Ball is taking over and he's gonna get fucked on. Like,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be surprised if they'll probably let him go another preseason game, see what Ball can give him. I wouldn't be surprised if they make some sort of free agent signing, just some sort of veteran dude who's hopefully not going to get fucked on every snap.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know
What
what
I
the name
saw,
is, right? But there's got to be
what
someone.
I saw somebody say something, and I thought it was funny. They're like, it wasn't Chaz Green bad, but it was close.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. I just think that maybe it's not every single football team in the NFL, but it's most teams in the football field. If they're or most teams that play football, is if their left tackle goes down, there's a big ass drop off.
Oh yeah,
No, but the only difference is, remember how we used to, back in the day when it was, we really didn't have any defensive weapons, and like we'd listen to the Cowboys sports talk radio shows, and or whatever we listened to, and it'd say, "Oh man, San Diego Chargers left tackles out this week. We could take advantage of that, but we never had any pass rushers,
We never
right?
take
But
advantage
but,
of
but
shit.
now we do. So the Giants left tackle, is out, week whenever we play them. We can fuck on them now. Do you know what I mean? Is that now we can take advantage of that stuff. So, but my guess is it's pretty obvious. There's not a lot of Micah Parsons out there, right? So even if you got to play Terrence Steele as your swing tackle, because that'd be my guess. My low key guess is that Terrence Steele would end up being, or however they figure it out, where Steele is then the swing tackle and Tyler Smith is out on right tackle, and they find a guard. Maybe that's an option. I don't know. I just kind of pulled that out of here, but. Every basically that happens with everybody. That's just what I'm saying. And then there's not enough. I think everybody can take advantage of that stuff and kill your quarterback, but then you got to be able to adapt to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, what I don't. So I just thought of this. So I have no. I should not probably even say this out loud. But so I'm pretty sure Connor McGovern is the hands down sixth best lineman. Is he just too small to be a swing tackle? I don't know how big he is off the top of my head. Obviously, is he that much smaller than Josh Ball? That's
I
not
just don't
even a
think he's an athlete.
consideration.
He's not athletic enough.
Neither is Josh Ball. That was his problem when he was drafted.
I think Josh Ball's big.
No, that's Josh Ball's thing, is that he is an athlete.
Oh, he was too. He wasn't strong enough for something they were saying, right? Like,
Yeah, right,
okay,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. All right.
And the problem with McGovern too is he can't play on the left side. Like he can only play right guard.
The handed, yeah.
I don't know.
That's wild.
Right swing tackle? I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm saying I guess they're saying him at right guard is good, NFL ready guard. Him at left guard, we all see it. It is not good. It just has to do with footwork and hand placement and stuff.
Sure.
Tyron Smith is, if not the best left tackle in the league, he's still a top 3, top 5 left tackle, even if he plays 10 of the 17 games, right? They signed him to his contract extension, I don't know, probably 8 years, 6, 8 years ago, whatever. Basically the first time they could, and they got him on a deal that anybody in the league, it's $10 million a year or $12 million. It's some stupid money that it's half of what all their tackles make, basically.
They did the Pat Mahomes deal, with how Pat Mahomes deal is going to look in a few years.
Right. But so the Cowboys are in this bad position where they got an outstanding player. He would be a sure lock Hall of Famer if he hadn't got hurt these last few years. He's still probably going to be a Hall of Famer for how good he was in the beginning of his career and how good he still is. He's not going to be a first ballot because of all the injuries and stuff, but he probably will get in. Right? So they got a really outstanding player on a cheap deal. What the hell are they supposed to do?
Oh, I'm not.
No, I know, but I'm just I'm saying what could they do? They can't. It just they're in a bad position because you're right. They don't have somebody that this is how getting rid of Lyle Collins hurts them, right? Because then they could have had Lyle Collins at right tackle. Steele could have been their swing tackle, but we still would have been murdering Steele now, if that was still the case. Because Steele's getting roughed up too, right? So if Steele just takes the place of Ball and Tyron Smith gets hurt, then Steele moves over and he's still getting murdered, right? He's getting Chaz Green.
I don't think so, right? Because we've at least seen whether it was, I guess it was pretty much by attrition, Terrence Steele getting starting snaps. Well, we've seen Terrence Steele get starting snaps. His rookie year was ugly, right? But last year was.
He's a starting caliber player.
Right. He's another one, starting caliber right tackle.
Yeah, I mean,
Dallas doesn't have
right.
doesn't have anybody to play the left side right now for Tyron Smith.
right, but Terrence Steele is a more exciting swing tackle option than Josh
But I'm
Ball.
saying he can't be a swing tackle.
If he's only a right tackle, yeah.
He can only play on the left side, or he can only play on the right side. We saw what happened when he played on the left side. It was bad. Like, it was Josh Ball worthy on the left side. So they need to find somebody that can play left tackle better than that.
Yeah.
Because Terrence Steele can't be a swing tackle. I think that's the issue with him, of having him and Lyle on the team, was that Steele can't be your swing tackle. He has to be the right tackle. So if you had to choose between Lyle and Steele, they chose Steele.
Right, so then, Stash, you already agree with me, I think, but then Will, so then you agree in the sense that Dallas's front office failed to prepare for Tyron Smith's absence for at least 3 games this year. Because they are currently relying on Josh Ball to fill that hole.
Yeah, my guess is, well, yeah, but I remember, I said that going into the season, the real season is they will sign somebody.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. They have to. You have to let them see what they have first. They made the draft picks. I mean, whether they're the right draft picks or not, you have to let them see. There will be a tackle of some kind of ability out there. I mean, they've done it the last 3-4 years. The Bills dude last year, and then they had the Inseki. They had the guy that went to the Jaguars, not Jeremy Parnell, the dude the year before Inseki, who started.
Wasn't Inseki in training camp though? I'd have to look. I really don't know.
Right. Okay, but I'm just there's
signed real late.
There's those type of guys that there will be a guy that can come in, and they don't sign those. It's just the same exact thing as a wide receiver position. Is they're not going to sign those guys, one, because they want to save as much money as they possibly can for whatever reason, even though they have like $20 million, $25 million. I still don't understand, whatever. But then also they need to see if the young guys are getting better at all. Not that they're good.
I get letting them have snaps, right? But I can't move past them being Dallas's front office. They are aware Tyron Smith's going to miss 3 games at least. Unfortunately, I hope he doesn't, but he's going to.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the backup plan for that was a rookie and Josh Ball, which was a horrible plan. The rookie's now hurt. You couldn't see that coming. I get it.
I think they misevaluate their talent, and I think it happens at a lot of positions where they draft a rookie. They're like, yeah, this guy can play, or Josh Ball, this guy can play, and either they get hurt or they can't play, and then they're screwed because that's their plan, and they're sticking with it.
So you just would prefer they already had that tackle in camp, and you'd feel a lot better.
I would prefer that they bring in the veteran early and then have the rookies compete with the veteran and say maybe they push each other. Maybe they can see, this guy's not as good as the veteran, or this guy's better than the veteran. We can let the veteran go because we got rookies that are just as good.
Yeah. I would be willing to bet that let's unfortunately say Tyron Smith does miss the first 3 weeks of the season. Just hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
His replacement is Chaz Green, right? Like, not literally Chaz Green, but the dude they sign off the streets might as well be Chaz Green because he hasn't done anything. Yeah, I mean, or unless they happen to find somebody off of somebody's practice squad or somebody cut from another team. But even then, that dude was cut from somebody else's team for a reason, right? Like, I would just prefer to have that insurance policy in place. I don't know.
And this goes back to a name a few years ago, which was a veteran name we were excited about that they brought in, but ended up being trash. Dontari Poe.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle.
Yeah, Fat Boy, yeah.
Fat Boy. They brought him in. He just didn't have it. Like, he wasn't what he used to be. And it took Dallas so long to get rid of him.
Yeah.
They're just not good at...
Not proactive.
No, they're not proactive. They can't just see, hey, this guy's... And with that Dontari Poe signing, they signed him, and they didn't bring in anybody else. Like, they didn't have a rookie to push him or anything like that. They were stuck. And that's the same thing right now is they're stuck at the offensive tackle position until they do something. And it's just like you said, I think they need to be a bit more proactive and just allow people to, because you can have like 80, 90 guys on the roster right now. Just let people show you what the actual depth chart should be. Like, because you're going to bring in a veteran guy now possibly, and then you have to evaluate. You're going to have less time to evaluate if he's better than what you already have there. Whether if you had him in camp for previous 2-3 weeks, you would know by now who's the better player.
Do you disagree though that they will bring in a veteran tackle before week 1?
No, they definitely will.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah, I mean I agree they will. They need to.
Okay. Yeah.
If they don't, then there's going to be serious issues.
So if Dallas does not bring in an offensive tackle before week 1, one of you two will switch to taking the under on the 10.5. Well, that's what I would say. It's just why they would have to, like, not bringing in a veteran offensive tackle and assuming Tyron Smith's gonna miss at least 3 games. Yeah, one of you guys is moving over to the under.
Fuck that! I'm not doing it.
Okay, just be wrong. Anything else? Questions, comments, concerns? How you feeling?
Oh, it's pretty good.
Good. Yeah. All right. Well, so
I think.
Stash, what do you got?
I'm done with that topic. I was going to a different one. If you want to, we want to talk about some depth because we're talking about lack of depth and things like that. I think based off of what I was seeing and hearing is Dallas might have a different option at fourth corner than what we originally thought would be there.
Okay. What do you got? Or who do you got? Oh shit.
Give me a second. I can't remember his
Doesn't
exact
name.
No,
Jesus Christ.
I don't want
the draft pick.
I think he's
BRAND Brand.
Yeah, Deron Bland.
Bland, right? Yeah.
Bland. That's why I said I didn't want to.
I'll fuck it up. I don't care.
But yeah, all reports is he could be the fourth corner ahead of Nashawn Wright and Kelvin Joseph.
Yeah, Wright has not. Well, neither Wright or Joseph have had good camps, huh? At least.
No, Wright had a rough game last night too. He got torched.
It's not good. Oh well.
Yeah, I mean it's not good. Yeah, it's not good, but like it's the same thing, man. As you just like he's your fifth corner.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not.
You know what I mean?
Over that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's obviously not good. I mean, you'd like to hit on all the picks, whatever, and maybe he was a bad pick, but you never really wanted him. You didn't want him to see the field anyway, you know.
You're offsetting the bad pick with a good pick. So, just saying that's a good find. It looks like it could be a good find.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, I think that I heard this today. Who the hell said? I don't know. Somebody was quoting Bill Parcells, and I'm not gonna get the quote right, but it was basically that he didn't care when he was, in the front office of teams, the Patriots, Giants, Jets, Cowboys. Was he with the Dolphins? He might have been with the Dolphins. Anyways, is that he didn't care that after the draft was over, a couple years down the road, whether the first round pick was the Pro Bowler or it was the seventh round pick that was the Pro Bowler. Like, it didn't matter if the first round pick was dog shit, didn't make it, but if the seventh rounder, it was the same thing to him. He's like, we have a draft every year and we can get one Pro Bowler, it really doesn't matter whether it's the first or the seventh. Now, you'd rather have it be the seventh because you also did good on the first, because that's supposed to be the easier talent to find or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the end, it really doesn't matter when dudes are drafted or undrafted, as long as they can get on the field and play.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Just thought that was kind of good.
It just sucks when you, reach on a guy, or not reach on a guy, but you draft a guy who people might have concerns about, and you take a risk on him, and it ends up not panning out.
You have somebody in mind?
I was going with Kelvin Joseph with that.
Oh, sure.
With that.
I mean, agree. I think we would probably all do pretty good if we were in the front office together. I think we would have a pretty good agreement, the three of us, if we listened to our scouts or whatever, is that I think we could figure, not that we would be handpicking the players, but I think we would have a philosophy that we could all agree on. Obviously, you don't want to miss it or second round pick, but
I mean, we know that. Yeah.
I guess that's why you also don't draft for need. But then, you can't say don't draft for need because you don't just draft. Like, if you have you just draft left tackles every single year. They all of them can't play, so it doesn't make sense, right? Unless you're
like you said, I
see.
think everybody would have. I mean, most of us would have taken Joseph in the second round. Like he was a first round talent, but his issues made him drop second, third round.
Right.
And I mean, it's the second round. Dallas will take a second round. Take their issue dudes in the second round.
That's a guarantee right there. Yeah.
That's why I said it's just unfortunate that it's an issue dude that doesn't pan out when you got, I guess, what was it? Asante Samuel was taken after him. Was at least one guy who you could have taken at the same position.
I know exactly what you're saying. Like I 100% agree with you, but I'm not. I think Asante Samuel was only a slot only corner, right? So that's not something the Cowboys also like, right? That's definitely not a Dan Quinn guy. Too small, like not enough long enough arms and shit.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying though. Like 100% agree. Like
it was just a name that was drafted like immediately right after.
Yeah.
You're always going to find guys that were drafted out for somebody that you were like, oh, I could have went there. That thing. But
it is just week one though. Preseason
it's
week one.
Week one preseason. Week two preseason. Josh Ball is going to get fucked on, and there will be a veteran signing. No,
Josh.
Going to get fucked on.
No, big step up from Josh Ball.
God. Okay. I mean, I would love that too, right? That's a pretty good thing.
No doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind.
Okay. We'll see. But it's all packed on it.
Okay.
Deal. Let's wrap it up there. But one last thing, Will, since you brought this up earlier, give us and the people the week that there is going to be a coaching change in this upcoming season.
For the Cowboys specifically?
For the Cowboys specifically.
Oh, this is this isn't even much of a challenge. I'm thinking week 11.
Ooh. Okay.
Bones Fossil fired.
All right. You heard it there first.